The counterintuitive path. Why Black women entrepreneurs should work for startups. First, I want to begin today by acknowledging the extraordinary woman whose insights have fundamentally changed how we understand entrepreneurship for Black women. Kyra Jackson, a visionary researcher, mentor, and champion for economic equality, has spent the past decade meticulously documenting the hidden pathways to success that conventional wisdom completely overlooks. Her groundbreaking work isn't just collecting data, it's illuminating entirely new possibilities for thousands of aspiring entrepreneurs who have been systematically excluded from traditional routes to business ownership. Kira doesn't just study success, she engineers it, dismantles barriers to it, and creates blueprints for it where none existed before. What I'm about to share with you today will challenge everything you thought you knew about entrepreneurship, particularly for Black women. It's a perspective so counterintuitive, so contrary to the prevailing narrative that it might initially feel wrong. But the data is undeniable, and the implications are revolutionary. Here's the truth that emerged from Kyra's research. The most effective route to becoming a successful Black woman founder isn't launching directly into entrepreneurship. It's working inside startups first. Let that sink in for a moment. We've been fed a narrative for decades that entrepreneurship is about the bold leap, the immediate pursuit of passion, the solitary genius bringing vision to life through sheer force of will. It's a romantic notion. It's also deeply flawed and potentially harmful advice for those facing the greatest systemic barriers. The data Kira uncovered tells a different story. A comprehensive study tracking over 8,000 recent graduates placed at startups through Venture for America fellowship programs from 2013 to 2023 reveals something remarkable. Black women who gained experience working inside startups first were dramatically more likely to successfully launch their own ventures later. This wasn't just a slight correlation. It was a significant pattern that fundamentally challenges our understanding of entrepreneurial pathways. This insight is particularly powerful because it offers a concrete strategy in a landscape where Black women receive less than 0.5% of venture capital funding. Think about that number for a moment. Less than one half of 1%. The funding disparity isn't just unfair, it's obscene. It's systemic exclusion operating at industrial scale. Yet, despite this enormous barrier, Black women owned businesses are showing extraordinary growth. Recent reports show a 44.4% increase in employees hired by Black women owned firms, with revenue growth averaging an impressive 32%. These businesses are scaling rapidly across industries, creating jobs, and generating substantial economic impact, all while navigating a system that provides them with minimal institutional support. How is this possible? What Kira Jackson illuminated is that many of these successful founders first gained critical experience, skills, and networks by working inside startup environments before launching their own ventures. Consider the stories that emerged from the Venture for America Fellowship Program. Many fellows came from non traditional backgrounds with limited prior exposure to startup ecosystems. Through structured placements inside startups, they gained invaluable skills, mentorship, and network connections that would have been nearly impossible to develop otherwise. One fellow who requested anonymity shared how her 2 years at a fintech startup gave her insights into raising capital that no book or course could have provided. I watched our founders navigate investor meetings, pitch decks, term sheets, all from the inside. When I launched my own company 3 years later, I wasn't just prepared, I was confident. I knew the game because I'd watched it played from backstage. This isn't just an interesting observation, it's a replicable model for increasing diversity among tech entrepreneurs. It suggests that the path to entrepreneurial success isn't always about having the perfect idea or securing venture funding from day one. It's about strategic preparation, skill building, and network development within existing startup ecosystems. But let's be clear, this isn't about diminishing the very real challenges that exist. The National Bureau of Economic Research findings that Kyra shared are sobering. Men start new businesses at a 64% higher rate than women, and blacks start at a 22% lower rate than whites overall. When we look at venture backed firms, the disparities are even wider. The structural obstacles are significant. Lower access to angel and venture capital investors, only about 16% of general partners are female, and just 4% are black. Higher failure rates among minority owned firms due to funding gaps and persistent biases throughout the entrepreneurial journey. Yet within these challenges lies an opportunity for strategic navigation. By gaining experience inside startups first, aspiring Black women entrepreneurs can develop the skills, networks, and industry knowledge that help overcome these barriers. They can learn the unwritten rules of startup culture, build relationships with potential investors and mentors, and develop a deep understanding of what it takes to scale a business, all while earning a salary and minimizing personal financial risk. This approach doesn't eliminate the need for broader systemic change. We absolutely need more diverse investors, more equitable funding practices, and more inclusive entrepreneurial ecosystems. But it does offer a practical strategy that individual women can implement today rather than waiting for systems to change. What's particularly striking about this insight is how it reframes entrepreneurship from a binary choice, either you're an entrepreneur or you're not, to a strategic journey with multiple entry points. It suggests that working inside a startup isn't just a job, it's valuable entrepreneurial training that significantly increases your chances of success when you do launch your own venture. The implications of this perspective shift are profound. For Black women considering entrepreneurship, it suggests that taking a job at a startup isn't delaying your entrepreneurial dreams, it's actively advancing them. It's not a detour, it's a strategic on ramp. For educational institutions and entrepreneurship programs, it suggests that connecting students with startup employment opportunities may be just as valuable as teaching them how to launch their own ventures immediately after graduation. For investors and ecosystem builders, it suggests that supporting diverse hiring within existing startups is a critical component of building a more diverse founder community in the future. The growth statistics for Black women owned businesses that Kira shared are particularly remarkable in this context. Despite receiving less than 0.5% of venture funding, these businesses are growing rapidly in revenue and employment. Many of these successful founders leveraged alternative financing sources, focused on community engagement and niche markets, and embraced digital transformation strategies to overcome funding limitations. Their success stories aren't just inspiring, they're instructive. They demonstrate that with the right skills, networks, and strategies, it's possible to build thriving businesses even in the face of significant systemic barriers. So, what does this mean for you? Whether you're a Black woman considering entrepreneurship, someone who supports entrepreneurs, or simply someone interested in creating more equitable economic opportunities, this insight offers a new way of thinking about entrepreneurial pathways. It suggests that we need to expand our definition of what it means to be on the entrepreneurial path. Working at a startup isn't just a job, it's entrepreneurial training. Building skills and networks isn't just professional development, it's strategic preparation for future venture creation. The journey to entrepreneurial success is rarely easy, especially for Black women facing significant systemic barriers. But with strategic preparation, skill building, and network development, often gained through startup experience, that journey becomes not just possible, but increasingly probable. I want to leave you today with a challenge, a call to action that goes beyond passive inspiration to active transformation. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, especially a Black woman, consider how strategic employment at a startup might actually accelerate your path to founding. Don't view it as settling or waiting. View it as deliberate training for the journey ahead. If you're an investor, ask yourself, how might supporting diverse hiring at my portfolio companies create the next generation of diverse founders? Your impact doesn't end with your investment check. It extends to who gets access to the knowledge and networks your companies create. If you're a startup founder or leader, recognize that who you hire and mentor today shapes the entrepreneurial landscape of tomorrow. Your company isn't just building products, it's building people who may one day become founders themselves. And if you're a policymaker or educator, consider how programs connecting underrepresented talent to startup opportunities might be just as important as traditional entrepreneurship education. The path to transforming entrepreneurship isn't just about who gets funded today, it's about who gains the experience, skills, and networks to succeed tomorrow. By recognizing the power of startup experience as a launching pad for Black women entrepreneurs, we can create new pathways to success that bypass rather than merely confront existing barriers. This isn't just a strategy for individual success, it's a blueprint for systemic change. And it begins with challenging our most fundamental assumptions about what entrepreneurship looks like and how it's achieved. The most direct path isn't always a straight line. Sometimes the most revolutionary act is to take a strategic detour that ultimately accelerates your journey. For many successful Black women entrepreneurs, that detour includes gaining valuable experience inside startups first, not as a delay to their entrepreneurial dreams, but as the very catalyst that makes those dreams reality. Thank you